On this subject of really kind of trying to bridge the gap between traditional personal finance, the financial independence, retire early movement or the FIRE movement, and Bitcoin. I've talked about this in past videos where it just seems like it's been unfortunate and kind of frustrating for me because there's a group of us out here that are trying to marry those two things. Whether you're, kind of just in the personal finance space, traditional personal finance space, maybe you're in the financial independent retire early movement, or you're in the Bitcoin space, it's like those worlds don't really work well together. I've been in the Bitcoin space for a really long time, more than 10 years. And one of the things that I can say is that I do get frustrated in that space sometimes because a lot of the videos, a lot of the podcasts we tend to talk to each other. We tend to be sort of this echo chamber of, hard money, Austrian economics, not only number go up, there's a lot of that, which is not necessarily bad, but also like just around the technology and how, all the problems that Bitcoin solves, which is really, really important. But I think it's come to I think over this past year especially, it's really come into my purview and through some of the conversations that I've had with other people in the Bitcoin space and in the personal finance space, that there's the next wave of adoption is really, I think, going to be people that are not Bitcoiners, that are somewhat interested in it. They're always attracted. The best marketing tool, as they say, for Bitcoin is number go up. Even with all of the volatility, the number still goes up and to the right, especially if you take like a 4 to 5 year view of it. So that's really what I want to talk about on this channel, and just engage, the community. Like if you're, watching these videos and you're like, man, I really am interested in Bitcoin, but I don't really want to go out and buy $10,000 or $1,000 or even $500 worth of Bitcoin. So one of the things that I'm doing right now in the last few videos is talking about this Fold card and Gemini credit card strategy that my wife and I are stacking. And if you want to watch those videos, I'll link them in the description below. But it's just basically a way for you to start stacking free Bitcoin, little small bits of Bitcoin, Satoshis, in other words, so that you can get your feet wet, start to understand, because once you've got at least a little bit of skin in the game, you're going to start paying attention a lot more. There's a lot of amazing free Bitcoin content out there. You can start to, read some of the books, watch some of the videos, start to understand how the technology works. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I guess the question that I have is, where are you in the process of learning about Bitcoin? Now, I've done some surveys on this channel. I may even post one of those in the comments below about, what's sort of holding you back from, dipping your toes into the Bitcoin space. Again, just going back to what I was talking about a minute ago, I think there's an investment mindset when you're getting into Bitcoin, and the temptation when you're getting into an investment mindset is really, going all in. I got to put $100,000 in Bitcoin. I have to buy a whole Bitcoin. And that's really couldn't be further from the truth. You don't need to buy a whole Bitcoin. Most people at this point, at what we are today, like 111,000 per Bitcoin, most people are never going to be able to own a whole Bitcoin. But the good news is that over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, no matter what amount you own now at these prices is at least going to be 10x of what it is right now. And so whether that winds up being $500 or $1,000, I think it's going to be much, much more than that. It's worth it for you to start accumulating small bits of that using the strategy that I'm promoting, particularly with the Fold card and the Gemini card. So yeah, just some random thoughts as I'm kind of firing up this channel, trying to get some more signal out there, trying to get some more content out there. And really another area that I'm experimenting in, we have our sort of main Bitcoin stack, but also we have, assets that are trapped in the traditional financial system. And so looking at the ETFs, looking at some of these covered call ETFs like BTCI and some of those, that really can kind of, help bridge that gap and build that vocabulary between traditional personal finance and Bitcoin. So I know Brian Harrington was talking about this on his channel the other day, like the BTCI covered call fund is really kind of allowing you to double dip. So you're owning the ETF, and so you're getting the growth in Bitcoin in terms of the asset value, the net asset value, but you're also receiving a monthly dividend which is based on the volatility and the cover calls. And I don't know that I can explain all of that. I'm still in the early phases of learning how, covered call ETFs work. So that's, something that I'll be transparent with you guys about. So I'm just curious, where are you guys on that journey? What content would be most helpful? Which conversations would be most helpful around that? And we'll just keep the conversation going.